For over a year now, I've heard about 523 Covina. I've memorized every line of a police report. I've looked at pictures over and over, and here we are at Laci's home. It's lovely. The front yard is full of beautiful oak trees, some palm trees. The house is full of, surrounded by shrubs. Let's take a look around the neighborhood. We also know that it is significant, according to the defense, that across the street, the Medina home was burgled. However, that was several days after Laci went missing. Here is the home of Amy Krigbaum. Now, this is one of the first places that Scott Peterson went to in his search for his wife when he came home from fishing that day. And what's so interesting about Amy Krigbaum's testimony is that within a few hours of fishing, Scott Peterson told Amy Krigbaum that he had been golfing. He couldn't keep his story straight for even one day.
The house next door to the Petersons, immediately next door, there's hardly any space between them and all, is Karen Services, and she is probably one of the most important prosecution witnesses, because she says that at 10:18 a.m. on the day that Laci disappeared, she was pulling out of her driveway and she found Mackenzie, the Peterson's dog, right? Yeah. Standing here,
okay.
Right, approximately here on the street with his dirty leash on. And the fact that she puts that at 10:18 a.m. is essential to the prosecution, because they have a cell phone call that they say puts Scott at or near his home at 10:08, and that leaves only 10 minutes for Laci to have somehow gotten out of the house, gotten herself in trouble, changed clothes possibly, right? Been abducted and have the dog wind up back here.
We are about half a block from Laci's home at 523 Covina, and we're walking straight toward the park entrance, which seems like a logical entrance if she went to the park. And as you'll notice, this is one of the areas that are blocked off. There's really not very much through traffic at all in front of her home. This is fairly steep.
It's pretty steep. It's hard to imagine a 7.5-month pregnant woman doing this if she had another alternative.
Yeah, this is steep. I didn't know how seriously to take that until I walked down it myself. Alongside the park entrance that's closest to Laci's home is the continued olive orchard. And the significance in my mind of that is that it's fenced in, there's barbed wire at the top of it. My point is, again, this is not a neighborhood where you see a lot of transients walking around.
That's where the police initially met, the Peterson family. I should say the Rocha family and Scott Peterson. They picked that because that was one of the routes that Laci frequently would walk. She would walk down here, turn around at the tennis courts and come back.
I'm wondering how many hundreds of people have walked this path looking for any trace of Laci Peterson. Nothing. Not a single transient, not a single homeless person, not a single, obviously, sex-crazed predator. Nothing. These homes are beautiful. This is a great neighborhood. I want to move here. Look, when you look at this tree-lined neighborhood, it's gorgeous. You never get that from the pictures.
This is a wonderful neighborhood, and we've always wanted to live here our whole lives. Every now and then we'll have somebody come by and say, you know, well, we think Laci's house is around here, and I said, you know, it is, but I'm not going to tell you where it is, because it's not a circus act. Somebody's died.